Wow, 35% of Americans don't think they have enough emergency savings. Do you? What's going on, my friends? It's your man Adam Ace Spencer here with another video diving into this important news, this survey, this info that I just want to make sure all of you guys out there know. Whether you are someone out there who's struggling to get by, you are not alone. Many people out there are in a similar situation right now. Some of the key points in this article that we'll touch on. Well, a recent survey reveals more than one-third of Americans aren't confident in their emergency fund balances. And here's how to know how much savings you need and how to ramp up if necessary. Having an emergency fund is an essential part of being financially secure. Without one, you might immediately land in debt if an unplanned bill comes your way that can't be put off, or if you were to lose your job and struggle to pay your bills on unemployment benefits alone. In a recent New York Life survey, many Americans revealed that they're kicking off the new year with less confidence in their finances than before. Not surprisingly, 35% attribute that to not being confident in their emergency fund balances. If you feel similarly, it's important to ramp up your savings before a situation arises where you need to tap your reserves. How much money does your emergency fund need? As a general rule, your emergency fund should contain enough cash to cover 3 to 6 months of essential living costs. That doesn't mean you need enough money to pay for things like cable, restaurant meals, and trips during those 3 to 6 months. Rather, you need enough to cover your essential expenses like your rent or mortgage payment, transportation costs, food, medications, and utilities. So, let's assume you spend $2,500 a month on essentials and another $5,000 a month on leisure items like outings with friends, store-bought coffees, and a variety of streaming services. If you manage to sock away $7,500 in the bank, you're in good shape as far as your emergency fund goes because you'll have enough money on hand to cover 3 months of unavoidable bills. That said, for better protection, you may want to aim for 6 months worth of essential bills or $15,000. This especially applies if you're the sole breadwinner in a household with multiple dependents, or if you're self-employed and therefore generally aren't eligible for unemployment benefits. How to boost your emergency savings. If you're lacking in emergency savings, a few savvy moves on your part could help you build more cash reserves relatively quickly. First, remember those non-essential expenses we just talked about? Cutting back on them temporarily could free up more cash for you to stick in your savings account. This isn't to say that you shouldn't spend a dime on entertainment until your emergency fund is complete. Rather, scale back in a reasonable fashion. If you usually spend $500 on leisure every month, cut back to $250. And I like this, my friends. That's why I jumped on this article, because I want to keep it real with you. I know how hard it is, how tempting it is to, you get paid, you get some bread, you want to go do this, that, and the other. You have to, it's all about balance and kind of management. And not necessarily kind of giving all of your attention to one thing, but if you can, again, balance and be respectful of the scale, then, you can kind of enjoy a little bit, but at the same time, start to save more, start to think about your future more, which will make it just an easier act, because I know talk is cheap and it's hard to put these things in action. So this is a nice way to, you got to scale it down. You can't, sometimes it's hard to just do the whole cold cut dry thing. At the same time, consider getting yourself a side gig to boost your income. Since your earnings from that job won't be allocated to existing bills, you can take that cash and use it to pay your savings. You can take that cash and use it to pad your savings. Just don't forget to earmark some of your side wages for taxes if they aren't taken out of your pay from the start. And, again, when I come across an article that I just think is perfect for you guys, for my audience, I love to jump on it. And first and foremost, you guys know what's the best gig app in the world that I always talk about when it comes to making money? Oh yeah, we talking about TaskRabbit. So when they talk about side gigs, I mean, I don't look at it as a gig app in terms of, just extra money. But if you're someone with a 9 to 5, then it absolutely is a great app to make extra money. But if you even wanted to leave your 9 to 5 and do your own thing, I would consider TaskRabbit as well. And if that's not your cup of tea, then I would next recommend Fiverr, followed by Upwork. So definitely consider checking out one of those three, if not all three of those gig apps when it comes to making extra money, additional income, and boosting your overall income. That said, I also recently made a video talking about how you can pay your taxes like President Trump. Only $750 he made. How much? Millions and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Wouldn't that be nice to only pay $750? They say nurses are paying more than he does. Now, if you do have a side gig, and this is, or if you do have your own kind of business, your own, you live off of these gig apps, as they call them, Fiverr and TaskRabbit. Well, you have the ability to write off ton of different expenses that you may or may not know about, some of which I've spoken about in that recent video. So definitely go and check that out. But it's hard to feel confident about your finances if your emergency savings isn't up to par. If that's the situation you're in, take comfort in the fact you're in good company. But also, take steps to boost your savings as quickly as possible so you get the protection and peace of mind you deserve. So my friends, you already know what it is. I've made a few videos diving into different ways to help you with not only paying off debt, because there are two different main big, common ways, and I'm about to introduce y'all to a third way that for some reason doesn't exist, or no one talks about it, at least. I just believe it's easier to do it than you might think. So and I don't want to even drift from emergency savings and focus on debt, but I just wanted to mention that really quickly, because I think too many people are just discouraged and don't see enough people they don't witness enough people doing it, because not enough people really share their financial situation when they're struggling, and it's so easy to brag about, oh, I'm killing it, I'm doing well. And, I'm someone who, I wish when I was struggling worse than what I had been at times, I wish I had started documenting and showing, the grind more of what I was going through, 5, 10 plus years ago. I can definitely relate with a lot of you guys, despite how things may seem or may appear. And when it comes to having that emergency fund, that emergency savings in place, I mean, it's all about baby steps. We have a dividend portfolio as well as a growth portfolio. Every week, we contribute $25 to that portfolio, and it's now up to $2,000 in a year. After starting with $100, we had one larger contribution because of the stimulus check, and then $25 every week. And slowly but surely, even with the current market, that has been able to grow, about almost 8%, I believe, for the year to date, 1 year. It's all about baby steps, and having that emergency fund is the same thing. Just like we mentioned in here, I don't expect people to just cold cut back on any of those leisure activities just right out the gate. But I mean, if you can, that's great. But if not, then take the, baby steps, step by steps. It's one step at a time. So $50, then maybe increase it to $100. However much more you can start to save each week is only going to help you have a nice, bigger, cushion beneath you in case, that unexpected emergency does arise. And that's really what it comes down to. It's never fun. It's always unfortunate when anything unexpectedly comes and just kind of sucker punches you, but especially if you've been working at improving your financial situation and actually trying to, actively be proactive with trying to make more money or with trying to save, with trying to do these different things that will help you. Well, this is why you especially want to have that emergency savings in place, because it will help keep the flow going. When that unexpected event does happen, it won't really, it'll kind of mess up your mojo a little bit, just because you're like, I got to build up that emergency savings again. But that is exactly what it is there for, and it helps you when you need it most. So I'm going to wrap this video up there. I hope you guys found this video helpful, motivational, encouraging. Regardless of where you are in your situation, understand a lot of people out there are also struggling right now, so you aren't alone. But also, if you're new to the channel, most importantly, subscribe right now so you can check out all the different videos that I make on making, managing, and growing your money to help you with moving forward in your financial independence journey, and hopefully getting that emergency savings in place won't be as difficult as it may have been in the past. So like I said, I'm going to wrap it up there. Feel free to like this video. It does help with the YouTube algorithm, and it lets me know you guys do enjoy and appreciate these videos. After that, like I said, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all of my latest and upcoming video content. But you already know I gotta keep it moving, but I'll see you in the next video. Peace.